Hello everybody and welcome to the Alliance Manchester Business School. This is the business breakfast meeting and my name's Terry Bourne and I'm going to talk to you today about retirement from your business. Now before you all switch off and think you're too young for retirement or you don't want to do that or don't want to sell your business, just bear with me. Remember Stephen Covey. Stephen Covey said that we should begin with the end in mind. In my experience as a researcher and as a business owner, what I've found is that people don't do that. What they tend to do is they tend to spend all the time and effort working on their business, in their business, building their business, getting everything sorted, and have very little time for the end part where you're sort of thinking about what happens next. So today I'd just like us to spend a few minutes thinking about that scenario, and hopefully by the end of it you'll be able to just consider your options a little bit more. For business owners, mostly all day, every day you're making decisions. You're deciding on what happens with staff, what happens with products, what happens with clients, and you're very, very busy doing all of that. However, this big decision that does need to be made at some point, I'm afraid, is one that business owners find quite tricky. It's because their identity is wrapped up in their work, I think. And if you think about the very last day that you're working in your business, that evening you're no longer the person that everyone turns to. You're no longer on the end of the phone. You no longer have to turn up come what may, whether your car's broken down, your child is poorly or anything like that. You have lost that ability to be in charge because someone else has taken over from you. And for some people, they find that particularly difficult. It's a bit of a tricky situation because it's not one you're familiar with, but also it means that your identity has been taken away from you. So what you need to do as a business owner is to prepare yourself, not just physically in your business, but you need to prepare yourself mentally for the time, when the time comes for you to not be in your business anymore. Okay, so as a business owner, you usually have two options when you're retiring. One is to sell your business, and of course the other is not to sell your business. So if you sell your business, then you've got lots of things that you need to consider to make sure that you are happy with your decision to sell and that you're going to be in a good mental state beyond into retirement. So there's several things that you need to consider. For example, what's your business worth? Obviously, I don't have the scope, the time to sort of go into how we can get to those figures and things like that. But what I will say on this occasion is, make sure that you get what the business is worth. So you shouldn't be shortchanged. So for example, let's take a simple story. You go down to your local shop and you buy an item from the shop, and the item costs £1.25. You give the shopkeeper £5 and he gives you the £2.75 change, which you pop in your pocket. And you get home and your son's there and he says, "Oh, could I have £3.50 from my bus fare?" Well, you've just been to the shop and changed the fiver, so that's fine. So you pop your hand in your pocket to get out the bus fare for your son, and oh, hang on, there isn't enough money here. And that's what I mean about being shortchanged. At the moment, in the little story of the shopkeeper, you're sort of thinking, "Oh no, he's diddled me," or "I don't feel happy about this. I feel a bit daft. I should have checked my change in that. Now I can't do anything. It's only £1, but it's not a good option," and things like that. However, that's how you would feel if you undersell your business. You'll feel shortchanged, and the pain will never go. So you need to make sure that you're selling your business for what it's worth. And you might have to adjust your expectations on that one as well. We all have this high expectation that what we've worked for so hard is worth a lot of money. Other people might not see it in the same way. Secondly, you need to think about the timing of your business. Now, For the timing of your business, you have got to consider all sorts of things. And it might be simple things like the fluctuation of your seasonal trade. So, for example, if you have one time that's better than another, might be a better time to sell, might be not such a good time to sell. You need to think about your accounts and what's happened in your accounts recently. Is now a good time? Are we better to wait and try and build something up? You've got to think about your age and your retirement age. Now, some people say, well, there is no retirement age now. There is one defined by the government, obviously, and you might want to stick to that. You might not want to. You might think, no way, am I waiting until that time? The government might have said, I've now got to go, in my case, at 67. Well, sorry, I'm not working until I'm 67, not in the way that I am working at the moment. So, basically, you're in charge. You also, I believe, need to leave your business happy. Now, that's not just you. Yes, you need to leave your business happy. You need to leave the business happy. So, finishing off projects, completing things with customers, maybe sorting out staff, all of those sort of things. When you pass it on to another buyer, then I think that you need to leave it happy. That will help you mentally to move on. You know what it's like. If you're going on holiday, I don't know if you're the same as me, you're going on holiday and for some reason that last 3 days before you go on holiday is so productive, you've got so many things to do you didn't even know you had to do, because what you're trying to do is make sure everything's complete and satisfactory and great so that you can then go away and enjoy a week or a fortnight doing whatever it is you've chosen to do and not worry about the business. Well, this is like that, but on a grand scale, so that you make sure that you've got lots and lots of things done, everything's in order, it'll make you feel happy, and that's obviously what we're talking about at the moment. Obviously, you want to make the next buyer happy as well, so putting in systems, making sure everything's sorted for them, and that makes them happy, which will make you happy in turn. And then, of course, you need to think about what happens next. So you need to have what you want to do and your contingency in place so that when it doesn't happen the way you want it, which unfortunately it perhaps won't, then you need to sort of be thinking about the contingency so that you manage your own expectations in a way. We talked a little bit just about managing your expectations on price of the business if you sell, but you might have to manage your expectations on timing, on sale price, on how you get out of your business. So it's just about thinking about what's next for yourself, including, you might have ideas about paying off your mortgage, going on fantastic holidays or things like that. All of those sort of things need to come into play when you're thinking about selling your business. But don't be drawn in by the agents who, that's one of their skills they're very, very good at. Oh, imagine yourself, what can happen if you get all this money for your business? And I think that's a little bit of a danger, because then when reality hits and, the market is not saying it's worth what it said it was worth, perhaps, or something like that, if your expectations aren't managed, even if it's just by yourself secretly, then, you'll have a hard time and you won't be happy, which was the thing we talked about earlier as well. So, there's two options here. One option is to sell your business, which we've just been through, and the other is to not sell your business. So if you didn't sell your business, then what would it be like? What could it be like, and how? So I'd like to introduce you to a new word. It's called retirement, and it's made up of, it is a made up word, it's made up of freedom and retirement. And retirement is the freedom to retire whilst you still own and run your business. What that means is that you can have your cake and eat it. So if your business is a good business, which I'm assuming it is, then yes, you can sell it and you can sort of take the spoils, go off into the sunset, pay your mortgage, get your foreign holidays in order. Or the alternative is that you keep the business, you adjust it so that you're not the person who's having to do everything, but you still take the income. Okay, so it's a little bit of a weird concept, but it can be done. I'm living proof. And so what I'm going to talk to you about now is the advantages and disadvantages of retirement. So briefly then, the disadvantages of retirement are obviously you'll not get a lump sum. So that might scupper some of your plans. You won't get a lump sum. The disadvantages are you will need to be very, very clear about the details of what it is that you want to do and what it is that you want someone else to do. And that will come down to you training somebody or some people up, possibly from within your business, maybe people that you bring into your business to train up to do the things that you don't want to do, part of your business, or you might choose to keep some things, you might choose not to. Obviously training is time consuming, so that is a disadvantage. However, you know, selling your business is time consuming. There's a lot to do. It's not an easy ride, whichever way you decide to sort of go with this. You may still have a sense of responsibility, and it might be that you're trying to get rid of by selling your business. But the main thing I think as a disadvantage for retirement for people is that they wouldn't have control. And yeah, I'm in that group as well. When you give up part of your business and ask people to do things, you've got to trust them to do it. They might not do it in the right way, your way, you know, that way. So it might be that you can't cope with lack of control. However, the advantages of retirement are, of course, you don't need to sell your business. So all that hassle that I've just talked about, that's all gone because you're not selling your business. You retain a regular monthly income. Now, I'm not saying that the regular monthly income will be exactly as you're having now, but if you can take a little cut perhaps to pay for someone else's services to run part of your business, that could be a really, really positive option for you. Obviously, there's no fees to pay. You know, when you do sell your business, I didn't even mention this before, but agents' fees, accountancy, surveyors, solicitors, everybody's after a little bit of your money. So as a business person, you probably like the fact that you don't have to pay this out. I know I certainly do. And that can be quite substantial, you know, 16, 20%, maybe even more of the price that you think you're going to get for your business goes to other people sort of taking their spoils. Obviously, you can sell whenever you like. If you don't sell your business now, you can sell it whenever you like. So you can always go back to the option that we've just sort of talked about. But at the moment, what we're talking about is you giving control of your business over to somebody else. You don't lose any status, you're still a business owner. So all of this is very, very positive, and I know that that's quite important to some people because of the identity with their work that they still have. You can do travelling, you can go and do the trips that you want to do, you can do all of those things when you're retired because you've got the income coming in regularly, but you've got people running the business for you in a way that you've chosen because you have trained them and you have asked them in ways that you want it to be done to make sure that's correct. And you can choose the level of accountability that you decide to put onto those people, and that boils down to how much you want to be involved in the business or not involved in the business. So it's a little bit of toe dipping really. You can dip your toe into retirement, you can find out what it would feel like for you, and if this works for you, as it has done for me, then it really is the best of both worlds. It's like having your cake and eating it because you're still running the business, however at such a low level that it's like a bit of a hobby, a bit sort of, you know, a pleasant thing to do. No responsibilities, depending on how much you decide to give away, etc. So it really could be an option for you. So, just to sum up, I hope I've given you one or two things to consider. Whether you sell your business or whether you retire and you keep your business, it's actually never too early to start mulling over the options, and I hope that's what I've given you a little bit of things to think about for today. If anybody has any questions, I'm on LinkedIn, it's Dr. Terry Bourne. Please join up with me and connect and ask questions on there if you like. Or you could just email me directly at terry@terrybourne.com and I'll be happy to answer any questions on what I've talked about today. Thanks very much for listening and hope you have a pleasant day.